How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Seattle Kraken franchise mode, episode number 5 here on NHL 22 franchise mode, moving into year number 2, the 2022-23 season, part number 1. In the last one, we had quite the eventful offseason, made a few trades, a couple free agent signings, but a lot of the core pieces that we got in the expansion draft are still here. Jaden Schwartz, Vladimir Tarasenko now have themselves a new first-line center with Max Domi gone. Vincent Trocheck, who we signed in free agency. It was a big overpayment, understandably, but thankfully it's only for 4 years. We have the money. $8 million is way too much for him, to be honest, but he is a first-line center. 4-star defense, 87 faceoffs, good shooting, solid two-way player with good offensive awareness, exactly what this team needed. In the long run, maybe we trade him. We definitely don't keep him at $8 million, but for this moment right now, he is what we need. Second line, Palat, Yarncrow, Bailey, all original Seattle Kraken players. Third line, Donato McCann, and now Matty Beniers, who moves up from the AHL to play now at the age of 19. He had 87 points in 82 games in the AHL. He is obviously a created player, but a very high prospect in the real world. He's now in the third line. At the moment, we're still going to change some stuff up as we go through the comments. Fourth line, Appleton and Gauthier. I think I'm going to try him on the fourth line. Again, we're going to get through the comments on that. He was another selection in the expansion draft, played last year in the AHL, 51 points in 82 games. We'll see if he cracks the NHL. And Eric Stahl, 37 years of age, 82 overall. We signed him to a one-year contract in free agency. He'll be a good mentor to Matty Beniers. On defense, we have great +2s all across the board here. We picked up Ryan Pulock in a trade from the Islanders. Him and Jake Bean on the first pair get a +2. Alexiak and free agent signing Josh Manson get a +2. And then Chalowski and Fleury, who had great growth. Both these guys were playing. This was the first pair of the AHL last year. Now they're the third pair in the NHL. We'll see what changes, though, because we do have a lot of good healthy scratches here. Hayden Fleury, Cale Clegg, Martin Kaut, and even down in the AHL. I moved him there in anticipation of what we will be doing in this episode. Moved him down. Brandon Tanev, 80 overall. Of course, also an original Kraken. I'm not sure if there's going to be room for him on this team anymore moving forward, but that'll be what we tackle in this episode. We're looking to start to become, we're already kind of challengers in the Pacific. We're starting to become challengers for the Western Conference. Also, in the last episode, we have 3 first-round selections, taking Yurchek with the 4th overall, the 71 overall medium league goaltender Wilm with the 19th overall, and Matejchuk with the 24th overall pick, I believe. So thank you, Tic Tac, for helping with the pronunciation on that one. Also, players will be furious with you for trading away both Butcher and Schultz days after they both agreed to extensions with the club. Maybe we can try to work some story components in and play with realism and force ourselves to do certain things. I want to just address that quickly. Schultz and Butcher, they did get signed to deals and then moved out. I try to keep things really as 99% realistic as possible. In that situation where I don't know what's gonna, I don't know who's gonna be stubborn. I can't talk to the player and say, "Hey, are you thinking about having a deal in the off season in December?" No, it's only here. It is June 25th. Do you want to resign? Do you want to go to free agency? Oh, I feel like walking to free agency. So you got to play at the same time with realism, and at the same time you got to deal with EA and how they do things as well. So I can rationalize that and say they were just sign and trades. What I would never want to do is sign someone from free agency and then trade them the next day with trade value. That would be against realism. But when it comes to extending a player and then trading them, I can rationalize it with a sign and trade. Apo says, great video. Really like the signings of Trocheck and Manson. Excited to see how this team is going to do next season. As am I, Apo. Thank you very much. Scott saying, kind of sad that Data had to trade Riker. William T. Riker, of course. Riker Evans. He could have been a future captain. So if you know anything about Star Trek The Next Generation, you know the connection between Data and Riker. It's sad to trade him, but it was, if that's what got us a medium goalie, then so be it. Hopefully he can continue to grow and we could use him maybe in a future series. Vinny says that he would get rid of Tanev, Donato, or Appleton in favor of putting Kaut and Gauthier on the 4th line. It would also clear a little bit of cap space if we get strapped at some point, but also give those guys that NHL action, like you said, so it would be beneficial for their growth. P.S. Vinny prefers the whole offseason in one episode instead of splitting it into 2 parts, so thank you. That is noted. Adam left a good comment here. Data. I think you made a huge mistake. While we were waiting on Trocheck to sign, Boston offered us 2 seconds for Alexiak and a 3rd. I would have taken that in a heartbeat and gotten rid of that almost $5 million cap hit, and then go and try to sign someone like Lindholm as a replacement for only slightly more, or maybe ends up being somebody else. So I do have to admit, I didn't even really consider that offer. Usually in the offseason, the offers from the AI GMs are just atrocious. Like, here's a 3rd round pick, give me a player and a 2nd round pick. Why would I do that? So when we got offered 2 seconds for Alexiak and a 3rd, I just hit reject on the spot because I wasn't really interested in making any trades, and I didn't expect any offers to actually be good. So I do take responsibility for that one. That's my bad. I should have put a little bit more thought into it when the trade values are a bit different in NHL 22 than it was in 21. But it's not too late if we want to trade him, so we're going to continue to explore that option in these next comments. Mike says that he loved the draft, and he agrees with some others that we should possibly do the Alexiak trade. It's good value, and it affords the opportunity to get Cale, Clegg, or Hayden Fleury into the lineup. Unless we trade Fleury, which is a good alternative if we prefer Alexiak. He suggests trading Donato, loves Tanev on the 4th line / PK, and he agrees that we need to find a place for Kaut and Gauthier. I think another year in the AHL would be a waste. Bias for Tanev, but also agree that trading him to get the youngsters in there may be the smart choice. Scott also says that he noticed that trade, and as much as he was Team Alexiak last episode, he thinks that the offer was a missed opportunity. Jack says that he would capitalize on Hayden Fleury's value right now. Even though he said to re-sign him earlier, he's the odd man out, and this is the best we're going to get from him. Kaut's in a weird spot, still young enough that he would say 1 more year in the AHL won't kill his development. Let Yarncrow go in the offseason so that Kaut can take over his spot next year. Gauthier can probably take Tanev's spot right now. That's what I did in the lineup at the moment, because that's what I'm thinking as well heading into the preseason. I know he's a meme legend, but Gauthier can replace his banging style play. A mixture of Gambrel, Fisher, Hosang, and Roy can be scratches in the NHL, whoever really fits the best. Stahl's good for mentoring Beniers. Potential trades and signings, numbering them from 1 to 6. You can read through the different order. He likes ideas of going after Connor Zary, Philip Broberg, Gooley, Heiskanen, McMichael, and Kasha. All different options on the trade blocks. And I especially like those ideas with the prospects, but it depends on what we are trading. If we have value going out, we can definitely have value coming in. It all depends on what we have going out. So all these potential 1 to 6 ideas are things we're going to explore depending on who we're trading, if anyone. On the Discord server, Zach says he likes the offseason. A little skeptical about Yurchek, 72 at 18. With the X Factor, it could be good. We'll see what happens with his development. Likes the goalie pick and all that. I like the team, but Beniers needs line 1. I know we just paid Trocheck, but him and Yarncrow can slide down. We don't need another Liam Foodie situation. Going back to the Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode in 21. Give him the minutes. He'll become our best player. I don't think that's a high bar. Cholowski could probably get traded so that Fleury can start with Clegg as the 7th D. So both Fleury's on the 3rd pair. Tanev's contract and Donato or Stahl should make way for Gauthier and Kaut. Don't want to trade Stahl since he just got here, though. They're younger and ready. Pat was very happy that we drafted a player named Peyton to Seattle. Please make him number 20. Other thoughts. Ethan Bear deserves a shot. He's an RFA with the Hurricanes, currently in free agency. Just sitting there as an 84, waiting for your money. Either we get cute with a little Carolina RFA barn fight, or we could offer them Tanev and Hayden. See where Bear fits and future endeavor the 82 overall odd man out for some picks in this high-low wackiness. We're going high draft class, low prospect quality, generated prospect quality. I wouldn't normally push so hard for one of my guys, but he's sitting right there at a bargain, and as a 25-year-old high top 4D, he could be a fun steal. Or we keep Tanev and see if Beniers fits somewhere on the top 6, capitalize on Yardcrow's high value in some way. Hobbsy likes the Yurchek pick, and for his other thoughts, Hayden Fleury was one of our best D-men in the playoffs. I think he deserves 3rd pair left D. To play on a pair with his brother as well is a pretty awesome storyline as well. So on the blue line, I'd move one of Cholowski or Clegg and let the other be the 7th D-man. Up front, I think we have to move on from Yarncrow and Donato and take advantage of their trade values, possibly trading them both in a package for a second-line center. If we want to keep Beniers on line 3, or even pick/prospects could be the way to go. I think the optimal lineup would be something along the lines of the following, so going Shorts, Trocheck, Tarasenko, Palat, Beniers, or an acquisition in Bailey, and then the 3rd line, and the bottom 6 is pretty much a mix of what we have right now. Defense stays Bean, Pulak, Alexiak, Manson, but then Fleury, with Cholowski, Clegg being the 7th D-man, Grubauer, Subban as the goaltending tandem. I'm Sean Avery. We all know he's a fan of Jamie Alexiak. That's all he has to say, nothing else, no words. Beautiful picture here of Jamie Alexiak. So It's going to be tough to decide here. And half closing it out, I think I'd prefer Beniers playing on that second line. The third is looking like a bit too shut down for me. There are also some comments in the Discord about going after Jordan Kyrou. I'm not going to go into that right now as a big, like, 50-plus message debate. Not debate, but just thread about how if you petition a player long enough, they'll come to the team. So, hey, you know what? Keep fighting for Jordan Kyrou. Maybe he'll come one day. I don't think we really have the value right now to pick up a guy like Jordan Kyrou. So I do agree that Matty Beniers should probably be moved up in the lineup. He is an 80 overall, though, at 19 years of age, and his line is a third-line checking forward. I don't think it's time to move him to the first line, especially after we just paid Trocheck big bucks. So I wouldn't be opposed to moving Yarncrow down to the third line, but at the same time, Yarncrow gives it a +2 up here. So I believe Beniers will grow quickly, and I think he'll get into the top 6 probably within like 30 or 40 games. But right now, his first NHL game at an 80 overall, let's just dip the toes in the water. Let's start on the third line. I know it's a bit more shut down than scoring, but at the same time, I'll give him some second unit power play time. So that'll be some scoring right there. But let's just go from there and take it easy. No need to put him first or second line for his first game. Game 20 to the second line, game 70 to the first line, maybe. But let's just see where the rabbit hole goes. So that taken care of, let's move on to the bigger questions. Thank you for all your comments, throwing in all your help, tips, suggestions for what we should do. The forwards are difficult because, yeah, we could move Donato or Appleton and bring Martin Kaut into the lineup. But Ryan Donato went from an 80 to an 82 with medium top 6 potential at the age of 26, and Appleton did the exact same thing, from an 80 to an 82 with medium top 6 potential. They both had good seasons as regulars in this lineup in the middle 6. So honestly, I really want to keep them and see if they can continue to grow and contribute to this team. Julien Gauthier, at the age of 24, I think it's more desperate for him to get the NHL minutes. Meanwhile, Martin Kaut, who he also needs the minutes, he's a little bit younger at 22 years of age. Maybe we could play with pushing him a bit longer. Honestly, I'd prefer not to. And I'm not choosing Donato over Kaut because long-term the answer is Kaut. But I'm trying to keep to realism. He just signed an extension. He had a really good season. He grew in overall. Let's see what he does to start the season and go from there. That's going to be my message of this episode. Start the season, see where it goes, move from there. It's hard to make decisions when it's all maybes and what ifs and we don't know how they're going to perform. The overall does not mean performance. So for the moment, I'm going to send down Martin Kaut. I can do that right away. Our 13th forward in the NHL. It could be Brandon Tanev, but that's a lot of money to pay for a 13th forward. Could be Josh Hosang, could be Dylan Gambrell, but I don't know. Do I feel bad calling up Brandon Tanev just to be our 13th forward? It's a good 13th forward. We're paying him a lot of money. He had a good season. So I don't think it's the craziest thing. Is it with morale off especially? He's not going to start throwing a fit or anything. So Brandon Tanev, 13th forward, I'm okay with that. If Gauthier or anybody else gets injured in that bottom 6, he slots in perfectly. I don't need to start thinking about Josh Hosang, maybe whatever the storyline is, drama, NHL experience, blah, blah, blah. Tanev can just slot in perfect. At the same time, I'm being pulled in the other direction because I'd say, okay, how about we play both Gauthier and Kaut in the preseason and see who does better? But let's say Kaut does do better in the preseason. I do not want to bury Gauthier in the AHL at the age of 24 when he's at a critical time in his growth. Kaut, at least, he could even be called up. It's not going to be the end of the world if he goes to the AHL. Give him good chemistry on the first line. He could get called up if need be. Not the end of the world. But Gauthier, at the age of 24 with his top 6 potential, by next year it could be top 9. I don't want to waste this opportunity of a good player that we took in the expansion draft from the Rangers. So even if Kaut did do better, I still think the answer would be Gauthier. Therefore, let's just play Gauthier. Defense now is the big one. Bean Pulak's the first pair, but after that, it's pretty much up for grabs. I do love the chemistry. +2, +2, +2. Jamie Alexiak, he's signed to a big deal, 4 more years at 4.6. On the third pair D last year, 14 points and a +11, playing on the third pair. Playoffs, he was a +6 through 13 games. That is very good, not only in terms of stats, but in franchise mode. Alexiak seems to sim quite well defensively. If we move out Alexiak, let's say just for trade value, and we go after Ethan Bear, we sign him, whatever, we give up a third-round pick, second-round pick to sign him as a restricted free agent, and our second pair becomes Bear and Manson, that's really great too. But again, trying to hold to as much realism as possible, Alexiak's been great for us. We gave him an alternate captaincy last episode too. I would like to start the season with Alexiak. I don't want to go past December 1st before we send an offer to Ethan Bear if it's going to happen. Would it be crazy if we signed Ethan Bear and then we play Bear and Cale Fleury or Bale and Chalowski, whatever, on this third pair? I don't know. He definitely needs room to grow a little bit. If I'd known that was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have gone after Josh Manson. I don't know, but Josh Manson, great defensive defenseman. He's great for the chemistry. I really want Bear to fit, but I'm not sure if he does. I'm trying to make it happen. And again, I'm not saying Alexiak over Bear. I'm just saying I don't know if it makes a ton of sense to say, okay, let's move out Chalowski, Fleury, Alexiak, Donato, and Appleton. 5 guys before the season even begins. Let's do the preseason. Let's go through 10 games. Let's go through 15 games. Then we will decide. It could very well happen in this episode even. Third pair, Chalowski and Fleury. We're saying we want to get Hayden Fleury into the lineup. I am on board for that. He was very good last year. The thing is, it comes down to the chemistry here, because Cale and Chalowski get a +2. If we put the Fleury brothers together, you would think it would get chemistry, but it gets a +1. Not the end of the world, but a +1. Instead of an 82 playing like an 84, I have an 81 playing like an 82. So I would like to try the brothers together, since it seems as that's a fun idea for the storyline, as well as it's not the end of the world on the third pair. But Chalowski at an 82 overall, he's listed as a top 4D. This guy needs minutes. So we're going to try some experiments in the preseason and go from there. Even Cale Clague will get some experimenting. And we might have to, I'm not sure if I want to send down Cale Clague, if I should play him in the AHL, if I should trade him outright. We also have Lozo in the AHL, who's a 79 overall. Kyle Wood, of course, the legend, is giving it a +1 on that first pair. So all that to say, let's move into the preseason and go from there. There's a lot of ideas. Thank you for suggestions. There's a lot of different things we can do, different possibilities, different avenues to explore. But I want to see first. I know we can probably get 2 seconds for Alexiak and a third or whatever that deal would be. But I want to wait and see how he starts to simulate for all the reasons that I previously mentioned. So with the lines as they are, I'm going to try 3 games like this. Then I'm going to try the next 3 games with it being maybe Chalowski and whichever Fleury's doing better. And then the last game can be one last experimentation, last shot to show me something if there's a player I want to see more from. Maybe Clay can get one of those games. Something like that. So I'm going to sim through all 7 of those games, and then I'll see you back with the stats to see who's making the opening night roster. Alright, so preseason over, and we go 6-1-0. Always take that with a grain of salt, but hey, I will very gladly take a 6-1-0 record after 7 games. Let's check out the points here. Our captain, Vladimir Tarasenko, it's crazy. It goes VV in the first name and then JJJJ. Very funny, actually. So, Tarasenko, 8 points in 7 games. Trocheck, point per game. Bailey, 6. Schwartz, 6. McCann and Bean, oh, really? +9 and 5 points through 7 games for Jake Bean, our pick from the Carolina Hurricanes in the expansion draft. Wow. Palat scores 5. Yarncross scores 5. Pulak 4 with a +8. That first pair looks good. Matty Beniers had 4 points in with a +2. Donato 4. Eric Stahl 4 as well. Manson 2 points and a -3. Gauthier 2 points +2. Appleton 2. Fleury 3 games, 1 goal +2. Chalowski 4 games, 1 assist, -1. Cale Clague 3 games, -2. Cale Fleury 4 games +4. Alexiak 7 games, -3. Not boding well for Alexiak heading into the season here. So I think on that third pair, if we have 4 defensemen fighting for the spot, I think Cale Fleury is one of them. Cale Clague's not going to make it, so it comes down to Chalowski or Fleury for the third, and I think we're going to start with the Fleury brothers, with Chalowski playing 7th D. I know he's an 82 overall, listed as a top 4 D, but can't just go by the overalls, got to go by the simulation performances. So here's a trade I'm thinking about swinging with the Capitals. They want Cale Clague, and one of the prospects they have on their block is this guy Heiskanen, who they drafted in the first round of this past draft, 2022. Vesa Heiskanen, 22nd overall pick. He is a sniper, 3-star shooting at the moment, 19 years of age, 71 overall, medium top 6 potential. We need to get some forward prospects in our system. He can play in the AHL. We can get him some good line chemistry. We can try to make him grow. Kale Clegg. I don't mean to say that this -2 in 3 games is bad. He was fine. He's good. It's just that there is not enough room. He had 16 points and was a +16 in 37 games in the AHL last year. He's great. He's fine. He's serviceable. He's actually probably more than serviceable. But there just is not enough room. If we can move him and something small to get a prospect like Heiskanen to get some more youth in the system, that would be great. I looked up a guy like Connor Zary. He's no longer on the block, so I think this is the deal that makes the most sense for us trade value-wise as well. If we could just throw in a 4th-round pick and it goes through, what would the Caps say to this? Trade rejected, but we just a touch. So if we have 2 7th in this draft, let's try adding in another 7th right here. Trade accepted. All right, thank you, Washington. Happy to accept this proposal on behalf of the Washington Capitals, and we consider it a done deal. So Kale Clegg, good luck in Washington. Ship him over to the opposite side of the country. We get a nice prospect, sniper, forward in our system, and we don't have as much of a logjam at defense anymore. In free agency, remember, Ethan Bear is still an option for us as we move into the season. Moving Alexiak for more picks and prospects and picking up Ethan Bear on like a 1-year contract for something like $2.5 million or something, that would be amazing. But again, I want to just wait and see, do our due diligence. How does this team simulate with Jamie Alexiak in the lineup? So with all that said and done, the AHL lines are also ready to go. So let's simulate to the beginning of the regular season now, which will be starting against the Arizona Coyotes at home, October the 15th, 2022, Game 1 of the second season in this franchise's history. Coming off of a 49-win season, Pacific Division champions, we're raising the banner at home at the Clement Pledge Arena. We're looking to repeat as division champions. We were so close in the Game 7 of the second round. Let's try and repeat that, go even further, and it all starts here. First period of Game 1 of the year, Coyotes score first as Shane Wright, the new face of the franchise of the Arizona Coyotes. Shane Wright opens up the scoring. Second period, 3-2. So Joe Pavelski, free agent signing, comes back and makes it 2-0. But then Jamie Alexiak, he's heard the rumors, he's heard the fans. Elvis Merzlikins between the pipes. We know the history with Elvis. And then the captain scores twice in 6 seconds. How about that for a period? Pavelski scores within the first minute and a half to make it 2-0 Coyotes, and then 3 goals within 5 minutes, including 2 within 6 from the captain. Shots are 25-14 Seattle, 3-2 Kraken headed into the third period. Schmaltz scores early and ties this game up at 3. We're almost doubling their shots, and then Gunter makes it 4-3 for the Coyotes. But let's go. First goal in Vincent Trocheck's Seattle Kraken career. Shots are 34-19. This game's tied at 4. Our first line center comes through in a big way. We're paying him a lot of money. The $8 million man. Of course, Nick Schmaltz scores late. And he heroics to tie it up. 5 goals on 23 shots against Philip Grubauer. He was not good enough tonight. Elvis lets in 4 goals on 37 shots. We had a strong showing. 2 goals and 2 assists from the captain. Trocheck with a goal and 2 assists in his Kraken debut, but 2 goals, including the game winner for Nick Schmaltz. Gives us a 5-4 loss in regulation. Big night there for Tarasenko. 4 points in that first game. Let's keep it rolling at the Canadian Tire Center against the Ottawa Senators. Let's try and get that first win. Let's go. Moving up across the border to the Great White North. Let's do it. First period, 2-1. Julien Gauthier scores his first career goal at the Kraken. I think it's his first career NHL goal as well, but opens up the scoring early. Josh Norris comes right back quickly. Then Vladimir Tarasenko's 3 goals and 5 points through 2 games. It's 2-1 Kraken. Second period, 3-2. Vincent Trocheck makes it 3-1. And then Colin White on the power play brings Ottawa back in it. 2 goals on 16 shots against Grubauer. We're up by 1 headed into the third period. Our first line center has been coming through the first couple games of his Kraken career. Power play goes nowhere. 5 minutes in, still a 3-2 game for Seattle. Shots very even as we're now halfway into this period. Another power play opportunity presents itself, but nothing comes from it. A third power play, and Calle Yarncrow comes through this time. 4-2 Kraken. I'm a big fan of Yarncrow. He had a good year last year. I'm hoping that, and Josh Manson scores his first as a Kraken on the empty netter. I hope that Yarncrow can have a good year, especially if he can't come back next year because of contract and prospect growth and all that. I hope that he has a good last year here. Maybe we trade him at the deadline. Who knows? But right now, goal and assist for the first 3 stars of the game, Manson, Yarncrow, and Tarasenko. Our captain now has 6 points in the first 2 games of the season. The Blues left him unprotected. We're happy to take him, and it is currently paying off, even at a higher pace than last season. So now with the first win under our belts, let's move into the calendar simulation. Let's get a good little chunk done before we can start thinking about, is Alexiak staying, is Bear an option, etc. Let's move. Let's go to the Oilers, I suppose. That'll be a good matchup, and that'll give us a better idea of how this team is looking by then. A little Eastern Conference swing coming up here. Palat for a second, a third, and a prospect. No, thank you. Tampa Bay Lightning, we lose 6-5. That's a tough one. A barn burner there. Alexiak and a third for a second to fifth. And no, I'd probably just want the second, 2 seconds or a second and a third, something like that, if I was trading Alexiak. Boston Bruins, we shut them out 3-0. Mild concussion for Tarasenko. This guy just keeps getting injured. So moving to the top line with Trocheck and Schwartz will be Palat, I suppose, even though it's not great for the chemistry. McCann can move up to the second line. Appleton to the third line. Did Gauthier score, was that his first career goal in the end? No, he had 2 goals with the Rangers, but his first with the Kraken. And then on that fourth line, Tanev slots in as the fourth line left wing. Thankfully, he is not out for long, Tarasenko, so I'll just do substitute in all lines because, of course, I need to go in and do the extras. Beniers can go on the 3-on-3 line, then Tanev, whatever, he can take a spot in the shootout. Doesn't bother me. He's barely going to be out for 2 or 3 games. So we shut out the Bruins 3-0 before getting shut out ourselves 2-0 against the Sabres. Then we beat the Blues 5-1. Tarasenko's back after a 4-3 overtime loss to the Senators. Tanev in those 2 or 3 games, 1 assist, -2. Not terrible. Back to simulating now. We're 3-3-1 through our first 7 games. Another tight 1-goal loss there. Hold on, the calendar is always a bit glitched when you come out of the injury here. Hold on, let's get there. We go. So after Ottawa, it was a 5-4 shootout loss to the Coyotes, then a 4-3 shootout loss to the Red Wings. So we're 3-3-3 with 3 consecutive losses after regulation. Let's keep on simulating these last 2 games against the Jets and the Islanders. Actually, I want to go see the Islanders. Pulak up against his old team. We beat them 6-3 to move above 500. 4-3-3 now. The Islanders are 6-2-1, so it's Pulak against Schultz here, going against their old teams. Let's see what we can do. Very good team, so a nice little test against a stronger matchup. First period, quick goal there. Ryan Pulak scores twice, including 28 seconds in. 28 seconds in, he wasn't happy with this team. He said, you signed Mackenzie Weegar, you pushed me out, I didn't feel welcome. I went to a team where I was going to be the #1 guy, and then, hey, you want me to do a shorthanded as well from the center line? No problem. So 2 goals from Ryan Pulak. He had, like, no goals. I don't even know if he had, like, what, 8 last season or something? Scores 2 in, like, 5 minutes against his old team. He's playing with a vengeance, with a chip on his shoulder. Second period ends 2-2, though, and there's Justin Schultz. Tierney opens it up for the Islanders, and Schultz, against his old team that selected him in the expansion draft here. So now shots are 20-17 for the Islanders, and this game is tied at 2 for the final 20 minutes. Both goals coming from Pulak. I need the big boys to start coming through here. I need the big dogs to eat. Where's Vlad? Where's Trocheck? And there's Andre Palat. I was about to call his name, actually. 3-2 Kraken. Power play opportunity. Nothing comes from that one. Let's hang on tight. I wouldn't mind adding to it either. Shots 29-26. Last couple minutes here. Palat holding on to the game winner, and it will be. Shots end 29-27, and we take it 3-2 the final. Andre Palat, 3rd star. Grubauer makes 25 saves. But Ryan Pulak, 1st star of the night. Islanders fans must have hated that. Was that at home or was that in Long Island? That was at home in front of the fans of Seattle. So since we went to see that game, let's keep on simulating a little bit. We're 5-3-3, so we're at 11 games played now. Let's try and take a pause after 15. So we'll go to the Jets because that'll be after game 15, which is against the Predators. So 3 more games until then. Alexiak for a 3rd and a 4th now? Come on. These are shameful offers. It's because teams don't know that they have salary cap space. Don't worry, I'll make it work for you. 6-3 loss against Edmonton, unfortunately. But then we finally beat the Coyotes 4-2 after they beat us twice last 2 times we saw them. 5-1 win against the Dallas Stars, and the Nashville Predators, we lose 7-4 in Nashville. We are 7-5-3 through our first 15 games. Our captain is on an absolute tear with 21 points in 13 games right now. Absolutely killing it. Schwartz with 19 and 15, also amazing to see. Palat, 18. Trocheck also with 18. So 2 guys with 18. We're at 4 players above a point per game. Matty Beniers has 7 goals and 10 points in 15 games. Jared McCann, 10. Yarncrow, 9 with 5 goals. Jake Bean, 9 points plus 6. Bailey, 7. Donato, 6. Pulak, 5. Alexiak, 5 points and a +3. Manson, 4 points and a +5. Fleury, 3 points and a +5. Where's the plus minuses then? It's the fourth line, I think. Stahl, Appleton, both with 3 points. Gauthier, 2 points, -5. Odd, I guess it's that fourth line. And Cale Fleury, 1 assist with an even plus-minus. Philip Grubauer is 6-4-0 with an .874 save percentage. What? 3.55 goals against. And Subban's 1-1-3 with a shutout and a .912 save percentage. 2.33 goals against. All right, Malcolm Subban, I'm going to give you a few starts here, buddy. You've been doing amazing. So I'll try and mix things up for the plus-minuses maybe a little bit with that third and fourth line, if this could stop being so laggy. Donato's going to swap with Appleton on the fourth line. I know it gives it a -1, but if it plays well, it plays well. Beniers has been doing very well. I'm tempted to put him above Yarncrow, but Palat at above a point per game pace, maybe that's that +2 that's really helping him out. So I don't want to take that away just to put Beniers on the second line. He's still getting his power play time and everything, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. Let's simulate through this game with Malcolm Subban between the pipes against the 10-5-0 Winnipeg Jets. At the Canada Life Center, we lose 3-2, a tight one, unfortunately. 6-9-2 are the Hurricanes as we go against them. I'll keep Subban in nets. Keeping up the simulation here. Back at home at the Climate Pledge Arena, we lose 2-1. So Subban only lets in 5 goals in 2 games. Not terrible. 2.5 goals against through those 2 games. But we can only score 3 goals in support. Unacceptable. The depth scoring is killing us here. I don't know if it's... I don't know. Bailey has 8 points, -1. Jared McCann has 12 points, +3. I don't know. Maybe swap McCann and Bailey. Now we're starting to lose the chemistry. So let's try McCann and Bailey. I'll keep Beniers with Bailey. Hopefully that helps out the line itself. But I'm pretty much ready to put Beniers on Yarncrow's line after those last couple of games where there's been like no scoring. Subban's going to start again. And what's up with this fourth line here? Donato +1, Stahl -3, Gauthier -6. So Gauthier has to pick it up. 2 points and a -6. I know you're not getting a ton of ice time here, but 2 points and a -6 is not making me want to keep you on this team. Let's simulate through the game against the Blue Jackets, who are 9-5-2. And we lose 2-1. Yarncrow swapping with Beniers. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Let's look at Subban's numbers here. Like, the man has a .916 save percentage and 2.34 goals against average. But his record is like 1-3-3 or something, or 1-4-3. He's lost 3 in a row because no one can give him any run support here. We're 7-8-3. Up against the Lightning now. We're still at home, little homestand. How? How is this happening? Back-to-back-to-back 2-1 losses. How is this possible? I do not get it. Where is the scoring? How can no one score any goals? We were scoring fine before. Okay, Schwartz. Oh, that's going to be a -3. Hold on. Let's find some swaps here. Schwartz can swap with... who can give it a plus here? Bailey. Okay, up with McCann, I suppose. Let's go Palat, Beniers, and Schwartz on this second line. And we'll go McCann, Trocheck, Tarasenko on the first line, I guess. Any plus minus, -6, -3, +1, I think that's all still the same. And once again, Subban's in net here, 2.31 goals against average, just keeps getting better. If we lose 2-1 again now, it's something with a glitch and going back to the calendar, I don't know what to say. Now, the Bruins are 11-10-0. We're still at home, and we lose 4-3. Blues fire their head coach here, Ethan Highnote. I don't know, is it something to do with the coaching here as well? Is it that our coach isn't good enough with offense? What's going on here? Staff chemistry's at 67. Giordano, what's up here, Bello? What's going on? A- on the offense. What's the team fit? 68%. I don't know. You don't like Schwartz. I don't know what's up. A-, B, C, and E. I don't know. Changing the goalie coach going to do anything? I don't know. But it's worth giving it a shot here. Jonathan Cambitz, goodbye. This coach here, A- teaching, A- coach influence. That should be hopefully good for something. Make him the goalie coach. Throw him a ton of money. Let's just, I don't know. Who knows if that does anything, but why not give it a shot? Cale Fleury is also at a -3 right now with 1 assist in 20 games. So I'm going to break up the Fleury brothers here. They got to play together for quite a while here. It's a nice story. The parents are happy. They have their 2 jerseys in the stands. Let's get back to Cholowski here. He gives it a +2. He's a higher overall. Hopefully that third pair can get a bit of a boost. Also going back to Subban again. He now has a .907 save percentage with 2.6 goals against. So it wasn't a great game. We're letting 4 goals. But again, he needs to get support. Unfortunately, we're going up against the 15-4-1 Colorado Avalanche. We're 7-10-3. 3-7-0 in our last 10. We're on a massive, like, 4 or 5 game losing streak here. Maybe the slow sim will do something for us here. First period, nothing. Second period, nothing. Shots are 2019 for the Avalanche. Final 20 minutes, thank goodness. On that first line, Jared McCann puts us up 1-0. Power play for the Avalanche. Now we thought we killed it off. It was an extended one. We kill it all off. Power play for us. Now momentum in our favor, gets killed off again. 1-0 with under 5 to go. I'd love to have somebody to add to this. McCann with the lone goal at the moment. Of course, it's Rasmus Ristolainen. What? Shots 29-27 for the Avalanche. A goal with 2 minutes left spoils the shutout for Subban against a very good team. Do not leave this man out to dry. He is killing himself against one of the top teams in the NHL. And it is 1-1, and you cannot give this guy a goal. Overtime, we better take this, or else we're doing a 4:30 a.m. skate tomorrow. Shootout. Shots 34-29 Colorado. Lace your skates up. Lace your skates up. 2-1 loss again. 2-1 loss again. Tarasenko hasn't been scoring at all either. He just stopped for some reason. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. The team has been struggling, but it's not like Alexiak has been terrible. I can say, oh, fine, good. We'll trade Alexiak. We'll get Bear in the lineup or something. Alexiak, he has 5 points. He's a +4, playing 20 minutes a night. It's not really anything to sneeze at there. Chalowski, he was a +1 in that game. I don't know. Fleury, he's a +4. The defense hasn't really been bad, actually. It's the scoring that just dropped for no reason. Just stopped altogether for no reason out of nowhere. So let's go Beniers top line with McCann and Tarasenko. Schwartz, Trocheck, Palat on the second line. And we'll keep rolling with this third line, this makeshift third line with a tough +-. Appleton, I guess maybe it's the depth scoring. 4 points in 21 games. Donato has 3 goals, 3 assists. That's even better. Let's put Appleton, swap Appleton and Donato, and take out Gauthier for Tanev. Hopefully that does something. Goalies, Malcolm Subban. All right, that's all taken care of. Subban between the pipes up against the 14-5-1 Islanders. Let's get another slow sim going here. We are 7-10-4, 2-7-1 in our last 10. Extremely shocking, I have to say. I don't know how we're falling apart so badly. First period, 1-0. Eric Stahl, thank you. Second period, 4-2. Wow, Tarasenko makes it 2-0. Beauvillier and Schultz come right back to tie it up. But then Trocheck scoring his first of the night and Tarasenko scoring his second of the night puts us back up by 2. 4-2 is the score. It was 4 goals within 3 minutes and, 59 seconds? Crazy stuff. Third period, we're up by 2, out shooting by 10. Power play Seattle, 5-on-3, 5-on-4. We need to get this win. We need this win. Subban playing well, above a 900 save percentage right now. Hang on, we have 38 shots on net. We're just pelting Varlamov, but he's standing tall. Power play again late in the game here. Nothing comes from that. Palat adds the empty netter. 5-2 the final. We only had like 40+ shots on net. Tarasenko with 2, Trocheck and Stahl a goal and an assist apiece. Gives us the 5-2 win. Malcolm Subban is sailing very well right now. Let's go Grubauer up against the Rangers. Get him some action. Tanev being back in the lineup might have done something here. I'm hearing your staff chemistry is low. It's at 70%. I was going to say no, but I want to be the solution to the issue. Okay, Miko, I'm sure you'll be the solution to the team's chemistry as the goalie coach. Let's get a win there. And let's keep on going. It's December 1st now, so Ethan Bear no longer possible. But you know what? That might be a blessing in disguise, because now we can think about trading for Ethan Bear and then signing him in June, as opposed to being forced to sign him now and we don't really have room for him. If we just trade for his rights and sign him in June, we can get him still for cheap and everything, but we get him next season when we actually want to use him. So you know what? Maybe that's not the worst thing here. It still makes sense. They didn't get to sign him. They're upset. They want to move his rights, blah, blah, blah. What would it cost to get Ethan Bear? Probably someone we can move in the off-season, like a Cale Fleury or something like that, because 81 at 24 years of age versus Ethan Bear, who is 84 at 25, has the higher potential. Yes, he's older, has a lot more skill for sure. Cale Fleury, a 8-year, $1 million deal. I wouldn't mind getting that out of here as well, because I don't like cheesing the system too much. I'm a bit upset that Fleury grew, because I thought he was going to just be a 7th D-man. I don't know. He didn't really impress me through those 20 games. I know -3 isn't the end of the world. Wasn't super impressive. So we get Cale Fleury. I could just trade him straight up for Ethan Bear, and then we can sign him next season. He's playing for us. Or we could even move some different pieces, like, I don't know, Nicolas Roy maybe, Tanev, and then some rookie skaters. It's still possible to do this, but no rush. Now that it's past December 1st, no rush. I really want to do this, and I'm like 95% sure we will, but I'm going to wait till the trade deadline and the beginning of next episode to pull the trigger on it, because I want to see what all of your thoughts on that are. So let's keep on simulating. Grubauer's in nets against the Rangers, who are 8-9-2. We're 8-10-4. Barré-Boulet pulled groin, replaced the player. And Madison Square Garden, we lose 6-4. Fantastic. And now Subban will get the 14-9-0 Flyers. At this point, I'm tempted to trade Grubauer. He's played like, what, 16, 17 games, and he has like a sub 900 save percentage in the 890s. It's disappointing. Philadelphia Flyers, we win 3-2 in overtime. Thank goodness. We're 9-11-4. Mild concussion for Cole Lind. Yeah, concussion. What kind of concussion is that? You're out for 2 days. Okay, Prudential Center against the Devils. Subban's going to be back in. I'm going to turn off goalie rotate as well. Subban's going to get a good stretch here. We're going to go back to the calendar, and we'll see. This is going to be like the last chance for this squad. If not, major changes are coming in. All right, so let's give it like a 5-game practice, and then we'll go see the Anaheim Ducks, the team that eliminated us last season. They're 15-9-1. With Subban between the pipes for these next few games, let's do it. 5-4 win against the Devils, starting it off strong. Colin's back. Okay, Edmonton Oilers, we beat them 5-3. We're 11-11-4. Jake Bean has a sore foot. A sore foot keeps him. Give him a nice little foot massage and get him back in there. Sore foot. Who can go to the top pair here? I'm gonna put, I guess, Manson with Pulak, Alexiak and Chalowski, and then back to the Fleury brothers on that third pair. This is really Cale Fleury's last chance here, because he is the candidate for a trade right now. If the trade's going to happen, he's the #1 candidate. So they get before they had a +1 for chemistry, now they get 0 for chemistry, so that's a nice glitch. Nashville Predators, we beat them 4-2. We're on a 4-game winning streak right now. Minnesota Wild are 11-12-2. They beat us 3-2. And the Vancouver Canucks, who are 12-13-1, beat us 6-3. So we can't beat teams below 500, but we can beat teams who are above 500. We're 12-13-4, taking on the 17-12-1 Anaheim Ducks. And I'm not too impressed with this team, as we're about to get into the Christmas break here, but hopefully it's be in the Christmas spirit. First period, 1-0 Anaheim, Sam Steele. Second period, 4-0 Anaheim, Comtois, Arvidsson, and Comtois again. 4-0 Ducks. Subban's falling apart. Okay. 5-1 the final. Schwartz breaks the shutout. 4-game winning streak, 3-game losing streak. Let's get Grubauer back between the pipes, and he'll be the guy that we roll with until we pause at the halfway point of the season, with lots of changes to make this team most likely. So Subban's save percentage has come back down to earth at 898, but he has been he's done amazing. There's no hard feelings there. It's Grubauer who has to wake up now. You're back in the starting role. Let's get it together. He got dropped by probably 30% of fantasy teams. Let's get this back on the road here. McCann 4-14, Beniers 14-8. I don't know. Let's try and get these. Let's put the lines back to how we had them at the beginning of the season. Let's try and hit the reset button here. Maybe not fully back. I'm going to keep Beniers as second line center, but let's try and hit the reset button a little bit. Let's bring Palat there. Bailey, I'm not sure about him. No, this will be it. A little bit of a reset, but not a full reset. Tanev has 4 assists and an even plus-minus in 11 games, so I don't know why Gauthier couldn't just pot in a couple more points here and there. Of course, Bean is still injured, and he was a big part, 18 points and a +7. So we're not fully back to normal, but let's try resetting that top 6 with Grubauer between the pipes and see if we can get back on track. I also misread the calendar. It's not after this game, the Christmas break. It's after this game against the Vegas Golden Knights. But let's move into the new year-ish. Let's just get to the end of December, and hopefully the next 4 games or so go all right with Grubauer. Barré-Boulet is back in the AHL. Taking on the Ducks again now after losing 5-1. Jake Bean fully healed. That's amazing. That's really going to help us. Cale Fleury played, a few more games now? 24 games. Got another assist, -5 through 24 games. 14 penalty minutes. I don't know. And Chalowski, meanwhile, what's he doing? 11 games +2. It could probably be argued that Ethan Bear would have been more helpful than any of these guys. But again, hindsight's 20/20. Couldn't have known that the third pair would be so bad. And again, Alexiak, he's been good. 6 points plus 7. And now the offers for him seem to be even less than it was in the offseason, so I'm not sure why. Another loss as we lose 3-2 against Anaheim. Vegas, another loss as we lose 7-3. Let's keep them coming. 3-2 shootout win, finally. Tarasenko, injured shoulder. Good job. Injured shoulder, made of glass. Let's go. Beniers, first line wing. Why not? Yarncrow there. Stahl there. Why not? Appleton can go there. Gauthier comes on the wing. Why not? Great. Get all that taken care of. I'm going to explode soon. Blackhawks, we beat them 4-2 in overtime. So again, we're on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game losing streak. We barely squeak out these 2 wins against a very good Chicago team as well. So at least there's that. We're 14, 16, and 4 through like 34 games. We're at the bottom of the Pacific. And we're only like 6 points behind a playoff spot right now. It's possible, but I don't get why we have to be so bad. I just want to keep simulating. I don't want to see any slow sims anymore. I'm so disgusted with this team right now. 5-3 win. Let's go. 3-game winning streak finally. Washington Capitals. Tarasenko, fully healed. Get back in there. Fully healed. Let's keep rolling. Washington Capitals, 4-3 shootout loss. Florida Panthers, Grubauer, okay. It was just a short injury. Florida Panthers, we shut them out 3-0. Let's go, Grubauer. 16, 16, and 5. 3-2 shootout loss. I don't know why we keep losing in the shootout here. Overtime win. I don't know why we keep going beyond 60 minutes all the time. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. We're at how many games now? We've played 39 games. So there's game 40 and then game 41. That'll be the halfway point right here. We'll stop after this game against the Flyers here. So game number 40 against the Panthers, we beat them 4-2. I'll give you a 7th and Tanev just to swap thirds. And now here is the halfway point officially against the 27, 13, and 1 Flyers. We're 18, 16, and 6, starting to turn things around a little bit. We've won 2 of our last 3. We're 2-0-1 in our last 3 at least. Let's do it. First period, 1-1. Jake Bean and JVR. Second period, no scoring. Shots are 25-21 Philadelphia, and we're tied through 40 minutes, ready for the final 20. 5 minutes in, nothing. Power play Philadelphia now. They kill that off. 10 minutes to go. 30-27 of the shots. Vladimir Tarasenko puts us up 2-1. The captain comes through. Gotta check the special teams after this as well. Maybe that could be a root of something. 2-1 game, hanging on tight. Minute left, 10 seconds. That's a big win. Grubauer makes 37 saves on 38 shots. This team is good in the slow sim. I don't get it. Philip Grubauer, first star of the night. Tarasenko, a goal and an assist. And we will end off at the halfway point in this regular season, in this first half of the regular season. 19, 16, and 6, and still very much in the race in the Pacific Division. So we're lucky that we're not in a very good division, as 44 points puts us in a wild card spot. But at the same time, look how slow this is going. I'm holding it down full speed on my controller. Look how slow. At the same time, that is 16th in the NHL. So come on, let's go. We're letting in way too many goals at 3 goals against per game. Power play is running at 15% right now, which is not ideal. Closer to probably around the middle, but definitely not ideal. And the penalty kill is at 79.1, which is also not very good. That is 3rd worst in the NHL. So honestly, probably should have taken a look at this earlier, but at the same time, I don't have a lot of options. Like, Trocheck at my number 1 center. What am I going to do? Take him out? Maybe I could swap Donato for Appleton, but it's 4 quarters for $1 at this point. I don't feel like we have a lot of perfect. This 85 overall guy isn't doing well. Perfect. I'll put in this 84 overall 2-way forward. No, we're already pretty much playing our best defensive player, so it's a tough situation. Jaden Schwartz is the only player above a point per game at 42 in 41. Tarasenko is at a point a game with 37 in 37, including 19 goals. Matty Beniers also has 19 goals. Trocheck and Palat both have 37 in 41. Beniers 31. McCann 27 in 41. Yarncrow 23 points but a negative 11. Maybe we capitalize on his value and trade him at this point if he's in a 3rd line role and get something for him. He's been good but not great. He's been very good even, I would say, but not great. Jake Bean, 20 points in 37 games. He's been amazing, I would say, as an 83 overall especially. Bailey, 20 points, negative 6. Pulak, 16 points, plus 4. Donato, 14 points, negative 8. Eric Stahl. Do we even think about Martin Kaut coming up maybe? We'll check his numbers. Eric Stahl, 11 points and a -4. Manson, 10 points, -2. Fleury with a +6 with 7 points. That's nice. Appleton, 7. Alexiak, 7 and a +8. Tanev, 5 points, -3. Chalowski, 4 points, +7. Gauthier, 2 points, -7. Fleury, 2 points, -5. Goaltending here. Grubauer is 12, 9, and 2 with a shutout. Subban is 7, 9, and 4 with a shutout. Both around that 897, 99 save percentage. Grubauer 3.03 goals against. Subban at 2.83 goals against. Looking in the AHL here, just out of curiosity, Cole Lind has 38 points in 39 games. Maybe we'd call him up to be a fourth line kind of guy. Gambrel 36, Hosang 30, Barry Boulet 27 and 34. Mason Shaw doing very well actually. He's up to a 74 overall. Kaut has 26 points in 41 games. He's at an 80 overall. And goaltending, Husso and Decord, yeah, they're playing great. So the team's doing very well in the AHL. So now we just got to figure out what are we going to do. We can also think about sending out some contract offers as it is past January 1st. We have quite a bit of money in extension dollars. Yeah, actually no, 13.5. So Yarncrow would want, he would take 1 year at like 3.3 probably, which is actually not bad. 2 years is starting to get into the 4s. So we could go 1 more year on Yarncrow if we wanted to. Jared McCann, we want to get him extended. I'd like to go for a nice 7, 8 year, maybe like a 6 or 7 type of thing in like the high 3s, if that would be possible. Stahl, Gauthier, he better not be wanting $3 million. Okay, at least it's low here. We could probably sign him for 2 or 3 years. Kaut as well, could probably get him for 2. Yeah, we could get very cheap on Kaut, so that's good. At least there's that. Unsigned players right now who continue to grow. Yurchek's at a 73, which is nice. Wilms at a 73 as well, so let those guys keep growing in their respective countries and whatnot. Last thing to do is to see what kind of targets do we want to think about if we are moving players. The players that we could be thinking about moving, I think it's between Cale Fleury and or Calle Yarncrow. So here's how the trade value for Fleury looks. Pretty reasonable, and Yarncrow has quite a bit himself. So put those two together, you get a pretty penny. Alexiak there. Wah has some value. So yeah, and then also keep in mind our draft pick situation. We have a 1st, 2 seconds, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th. If we were looking to acquire some pieces, let's go through the teams here and see what it's looking like. Anaheim Ducks, Coyotes, Perron, Brown, Larson, Ladd. Bruins, some pieces there. Sabres, Phil the Thrill Kessel. Wow, 35 years of age, 15 points in 40 games, 2 years left on his deal. Coach seems to like him for the top 6. That's funny. Jeff Skinner, Achari, Barchi, Zajac, Aberg, Zemgus. Down line goes down. Not great pieces. Ruzika Pelletier also on the block there from Calgary. Carolina has everybody here. Stahl, Ethan Bear, like we said, a big target for us. D'Angelo, Bach, Matthews, Panamarev, Jarvis, Suzuki, Drury. They want to trade every prospect on their team, I suppose, here. Are they a winning team? Not even. They're 19, 20, and 2, and they want to move all their prospects. So you do you, Carolina. Chicago, Yetman, no one big there. Avalanche, no. Blue Jackets, PK Subban, Olimata, Xavier Ouellet, Brett Kulak. Subban would cost 4.645 for 3 years. Fitz deep pairing 3 actually. We could reunite the Subban brothers. That was I'm Sean Avery left a comment like that in the Discord server. Dallas, Harley Stranges, few pieces there. Red Wings, Dzingel, a lot of value from Dzingel. Guess he's having a good season. Not even 9 points. Is it the contract? No, I don't get why the value is so high on him then. Broberg still here in Edmonton, Florida. Hornquist is available. Miller, Damaris Gudis. Hornquist has 38 points in 42 games. Wow. LA Kings, Thomas, and a bunch of other decent prospects, I would say. Minnesota Wild, nobody. Le Canadien Montreal, Cannons, Gooley, Elon and Kinney, Rachette, Mishak, Teasdale. A lot of pieces there. Predators, Matthias Ekholm. Devils, no one big there. Islanders, Schultz, Mayfield, Panik. Rangers, Goodrow, Lundqvists, and then Matthew Robertson's actually a pretty good piece. Nathan Gaucher, Brendan Othman. Senators, Zaitsev, Piri, Delzato. Flyers, JVR with a lot of value. Lawton, Atkinson, Brassard, Gagné. All these pieces have too much value, I would say. Penguins, Matheson. Michael Matheson, eh? 4 more years. Fitz deep pairing 3. That's a lot of money for 4 more years. Ruda, Burns, Carlson, Vlasic, Braun, Seamek. A lot of term on those deals. A lot of term. Blues, Krug, Pareko, Fault, Hinostroza, Nunivara, Kajula, Sundquist, Stone. And for anyone curious about the trade value of Jordan Kyrou, this is how he looks. 1 year left on his deal. Lightning, no one big there. Maple Leafs, Kasha was never signed. He's an RFA. Canucks, no one big. Golden Knights, Chaika. Capitals, no one big there. Jets, and that's it. So there are the trade blocks. If you have any ideas on targets for us, do we just go after Ethan Bear and he becomes a guy for us next season once we see who the real odd man out is? But needless to say, I will need your suggestions because this team, we were really on the fringe. Now we're 7-1-2 in our last 10. We're getting back a little bit here. 19, 16, and 6. We're definitely in the race in the Pacific Division. 2 points behind the Sharks, 6 points behind the Golden Knights, only 8 points behind the division-leading Flames, and we have 2 games in hand. So it's definitely possible. Please leave your thoughts down here on YouTube or over in the Discord server. If it wasn't for thoughts like yours, I wouldn't be able to make the decisions that are made for this team. Like Ethan Bear, I probably wouldn't have thought about him. But now because of a couple suggestions, he's our #1 target next episode. So your thoughts really do make a big impact on this series. You are the assistant GMs. I just make the trade calls. I think that we have a pretty good time here on the channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. You'll be made aware of all the uploads on the channel, including the tutorials that are coming out. My overview of everything franchise mode, everything already came out. The line chemistry and scouting one. I'm going to put at least one of those out in the next couple of weeks. Very tough with working full time and school and all that, but trying my best to get as much out to all of you. If you haven't already joined the Discord server, link for that is in the description, where you can talk a lot more about this series, your franchise mode, sports, and everything else in general, as well as the link for things like the Twitch page, Twitter page. All that's in the description. Leave a like if you enjoyed the start of this season. If you have some hope for the playoffs, leave a like if you think that there is hope for the playoffs. I'm looking forward to reading all your thoughts and really buckling down and pushing for the playoffs in part 2 of year #2 in the next one. So I will see you there.